Uh, Good afternoon, friends, and welcome back to the video sessions of user interface design. So in the previous video we were here, that is intent indicators, so we were discussing about this. Okay, so these intent indicators are underlined by a small arrow, okay, to a window indicator. If so, three dots are basically used for this to a window indicator, and okay, this arrow, a small arrow or triangle, is basically used for cascade indicator. Okay, so keyboard equivalents. To facilitate keyboard selection of menu choice, each menu item should be assigned a keyboard equivalent mnemonic. So this keyboard equivalents are basically for the expert users. Hardly any novice users make use of these keyboard equivalents. For example, Control C, Control V, then Control C, what is that? Yeah, Control S for saving, Control W for close file, Control D for, okay, so these are the mnemonics, equivalent mnemonic. The mnemonic should be first character of the main item's description. So we will see. So for example, O, so Control O it is. So yes, so yes, that is why they are underlined. So save as Shift Control S. So revert, okay, then close Control W sometimes. Okay, the mnemonic should be the first character of the menu item's description. If duplication exists in first characters, use another character in the duplicated item. So here, why? Because see here, where is that? Control V. Yeah. See here. So select. They have basically used Control A. Then Control Z is used for undo. Okay. Preferably choose the first succeeding consonant. Designate the mnemonic character by underlining it. Okay, so again, that is why some of the items are underlined. Okay, so copy C is underlined, paste is underlined. Okay, use industry standard keyboard access equivalents when they exist. Okay, use industry standard keyboard access equivalents when they exist. If already there are okay, some industry standard shortcuts already exists, then it's better to make use of the same, because users are already okay acquainted with those industry standard mnemonics. So don't, for example, Control C, everyone okay knows it. Okay, so to copy Control C, so in my application also I should use Control C only instead of Control C. If I use Control M, so the users may not understand it. Okay, so again the same thing is explained here. You can see style, keyboard equivalents. You can see these are underlined here. I have already shown you. O is underlined here, C is underlined here, something like that. Okay, standard keyboard, so A. Okay, you can just go through them, some examples they have given. Then keyboard accelerators. For frequently used items, provide a keyboard accelerator to facilitate keyboard selection. For example, most of the function keys, okay, F1, F2, F3, F4, F5. So F5 is basically used to refresh the screen, then F4 is used to close everything, F3 is basically used to increase the volume, F2 is basically used to decrease the volume, F1 to mute. So these are some of the keyboard accelerators. So instead of spending a lot of time to go to the system volume and to reduce it, you have to physically drag it. Okay, so it is time consuming. Instead of that, you press F1 or F2, okay, continuously, automatically your volume will be reduced. The accelerator may be one function key or a combination of keys. Function key shortcuts are easier to learn than modify plus letter shortcuts. Pressing no more than two keys simultaneously is preferred. For example, Control A, Control so here, however, there are some Shift, Control, okay, and I. So sometimes we have to use three keys simultaneously, which is a difficult task, and we should try to avoid it. Then use a plus sign to indicate that two or more keys must be pressed at the same time. So you can see here they have used the plus symbol, so you have to press. So for example, save as shift plus control plus yes. So use a plus sign to indicate that two or more keys must be pressed at the same time. Accelerator should have some associative value to them, value to the item. Okay, identify the keys by their actual key top engraving. Okay, so every key is on top of every key it is engraved. I mean the functionality of that particular key is already engraved, means already printed. Okay, for example, suppose if you want to increase the sound, then there is a small okay speaker, then okay plus key on okay next to that, so it indicates it will increase the sound. So if there is a speaker then minus symbol, then it is basically used to decrease the volume. So that is what. Okay, identify the key by their actual key top engraving. If keyboard terminology differences exist, use the most common keyboard terminology contained on the newest PCs. Okay, separate the accelerator from the item description by this by 3 spaces. Separate the accelerator from the item description by 3 spaces. Right align the key descriptions. Do not use accelerator for menu items that have cascaded menus. Okay, again these are just about the formatting. Okay, please go through it. So control U is a keyboard accelerator. So control C is basically used for copy, control N is basically used for new, control O. So okay, so these are the next one is selecting the menu choices. Okay, menu items can be selected by pointing at the choice with a mechanical pointer, by pointing at the choice through the keyboard, or by keying a value designating the choice. So there are different ways of selecting the menus. The first one is I'll move my mouse okay over here and I will click on it. In sometimes without even clicking also automatically it gets activated. Okay, in most of the modern websites, okay, you don't have to click on that particular menu, you just move your cursor on top of it, automatically it opens. Okay, it shows the okay menu options. Okay, that is the first one. Then suppose you can use the tab key, okay, to activate. Okay, sorry, let me pause it. So we were discussing about how to select the menus. Okay, so there are many options. One is you can move the cursor, another option is you can use the shortcuts. Okay, so initial cursor positioning. If one option has a significantly higher probability of selection, position the cursor at that option, because okay, if for example, if certain menu option is continuously is very popular, I mean it is continuously used by most of the users, then when the moment application is open, so make sure that the cursor is placed on that menu option. Okay, so why? Because it becomes easy for the user. It becomes easy for the user to just click, I mean press enter. So as soon as he presses the enter key, automatically that menu will get opened. Otherwise he has to physically move his mouse pointer, click it, so again it is a time consuming. If repeating the previously selected option has the highest probability of occurrence, position the cursor at this option. Okay, if repeating the previously selected option has the highest probability of occurrence, okay, if the same thing, okay, just now I explained you, if one option has significantly higher probability of selection, position the cursor. If repeating the previously selected option has the highest, just suppose okay, I click here, then there is a 90% probability that I may click the previous menu. So okay, then you keep the keep the cursor on the previous menu. So that is what. If no option has a significantly higher probability of selection, position the cursor at the first option. So if there is no probability, if there is no, okay, if the randomly if the user randomly clicking, then no need to put mouse cursor at one position. Instead, the first position, okay, you place the cursor at the first option. So we will continue with the choice selection in the next class. Thank you. In the next video.